Hey Mr. Batson, it's me, Claire Pantell of Class 1A, and this is my current events project. It's on Canada. There are two main problems right now that I chose are the climate changes and the carbon issues. For the climate changes, it's pretty much global warming. They presume that the world's going to be 2.4 degrees hotter by the end of this decade. So that's not looking good. Which is going to affect our agricultural production. The wheat production is going to be down by 14%, the rice is going to be down by 11%. Not sure how much the maize will be down, but that will be down as well. And then soy will pretty much be the only crop that will be able to keep up with the global need. And then by 2012, the population is going to be increased, and there's going to be much more people, meaning there's going to be more demand for food because there's not going to be as much food, and then there's more people, so food prices are going to rocket, and that's not going to be good for financial situations. Like I said, they'll struggle to provide the four main crops, except maybe soy. For Canada, the warming of the earth is actually kind of good because it helps them agriculturally. They can start using some land to farm, and areas above 49 degrees latitude are warming up, and they can use like the water and stuff like that. It will be better above the 49th line of latitude, and that's not just for Canada. It's areas in Russia and stuff. Anyways, the four main greenhouse gases that are causing global warming are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated. And these greenhouse gases go into the atmosphere, are absorbed, and then are pretty much reflected back towards the Earth, and that causes a hotter surface temperature. So it's like pretty much if you have like a ball inside of a balloon and you have heat, if the ball is producing heat inside the balloon, it's going to be reflected back in towards the ball, which means the ball is going to get hotter, and the temperature in the balloon is just going to get hotter all in all. The heating up of the overall climate of the Earth is melting the ice caps, and it's going to start affecting the weather patterns. The problem with Canada is they have spent so much money on this already. They've spent about $150 million, actually a little bit more, on just research for this climate change. And in 2010 they cut all the funding towards the Canadian Climate and Astronomical Science program, and that's causing a brain drain because scientists in Canada can't be paid unless they charge more taxes, but they need money, so they have to leave the country and seek new jobs. And then some good things about the heating up of the global warming is for Canada, there's going to be increased resources, like they can access more oils, more gases, water from the melting snow. Then there's going to be more immigrants coming to Canada because it's going to be in probably better shape than the other countries. And then that's going to, with immigrants, there's going to come with industrial development and stuff like that. But there's also cons to this, like the heat attracts pine beetles. Pine beetles eat the lumber, which is another major moneymaker for Canada. It's also going to cause less hunting grounds because of the shrinking shorelines, and there's going to be an increased demand for resources. Like before, there's going to be a lack of the major crops. Now onto carbon issues. They have carbon taxes, which is going into the education budget. They need more money to buy carbon, so they're taking money from education funding and putting it towards buying carbon, which is a problem because it's cutting down on the food for the kids. So the kids aren't getting food. New York borders Canada about here-ish, and New York has made a border tax to reflect its carbon content within the state. So that's an issue for Canada because they sometimes did trading with them. They recently increased the taxation on carbon, hoping that number one, because it was expensive, and number two, hoping that it would reduce the use of carbon in Canada. They put that tax on in 2008. Here is where you can see British Columbia's reaction to it. This is British Columbia in Canada, and here's the rest of Canada. They stayed fairly the same when the tax was put into case here at this time, and stayed fairly the same. British Columbia, they went the right way and went down, which in their use of carbon, which is good for the environment. So that's very good. Then the Pacific Carbon Trust was a group dedicated to having the use of carbon be aware to the public how we don't really need it. Canada doesn't really need it. It's useful, but they don't need it, and it's really expensive, and that's kind of what this picture's showing. They're wasting it, and it's emitting gas into the atmosphere, which is much like my first topic, and it's emitting greenhouse gases affecting the climate. So they tried to keep that little group going on up, but it was wasting about $20 million of taxpayer money per year, so that wasn't good. So they recently cut the funding for that group. So they don't have this wonderful group to tell people stop using carbon horribly. So that's my project. Thank you. Have any questions? I don't know. Probably ask me later.